How to deal with insecurity. 5 unconventional ways. And how to deal with insecurity in relationships with awareness, intuition, energy. And this is Hani. I am a experiential transformational coach that helps you go overcome any triggers and traumas in your sexuality, intimacy, relationship, business, and life. So the first thing to deal with insecurity is a really annoying feeling. Like it oftentimes can create a lot of unwanted patterns of behavior, such as checking your phone a lot, asking a lot of questions, creating anxiety, creating panic, creating unnecessary conclusions to situations that aren't really there. And a really easy way to do that is to recognize and now watch this video or find resources that would help you to overcome or dive deep and dispel or do a lot of things. So, energy approach is not a cognitive approach. So basically, we're going to be doing energetic approaches. So the first thing we want to know about insecurity is when you feel it, tune into where it lives in your body from a somatic perspective. Because insecurity oftentimes clenches up your throat or constricts your heart, or it makes your body feel really, really tight and doesn't want to move. And it makes you want to like pull yourself into another's world if it's about a guy or if it's about your value and your worth, then it makes you want to collapse and perhaps what does it make you do? Like, what does your body do? So it affects your nervous system and body. And sometimes it's an outside body force. It could be visceral. It could be something that just makes everything feel like it's really heavy on you. And and the important thing is just recognizing how your body is affected by that. Because once you have that awareness, then you can shift it. You can breathe it, you can stretch it, you can move it, you can dance it. You can also obviously find the root of it. Where is it? From a somatic standpoint, where is the root of it? And remove it. From an energetic standpoint, we do removals all the time. We have a technique that we can do that removes 200 over blocks. I believe you get a clearing audio when you download our transformational 4 questions, 4-part um, worksheet. So that link will be in the description. Second thing for insecurity is understanding that your deeper wisdom is secure. So in our work, we talk a lot about your infinite being. And your infinite being is this being that's in you that has access to all of who you are. And I actually met this infinite being the first time when I was getting over a 15-year disease where I was throwing up 10 times a day. And I had spent 15 years looking at all kinds of solutions. And I was ending up in this retreat, meditative retreat with plant medicine, private one because I was facilitating myself at that time, already had my certs. And then at one moment, I was like, am I ready to let this 15-year disease where I was throwing up 10 times a day go? And deep within me, a voice came through and I wasn't thinking about anything. My thoughts haven't even finished the question. And from deep within, an answer before I even moved my mouth, before I even computed the end of the sentence and the question said, yes. And without a shadow of a doubt, I knew that that 15-year disease was over that day. And I also knew that I needed to do whatever it took to get all that I've learned in those 15 years out into the world. And that's why I wrote my book. Where is my book? Somewhere here. I need to show it to you. Um, Not at the time. And wrote my book, toured the world, shared the stories, condensed all the learnings into 15 chapters or so, translated into Chinese, started doing healing tours around the world. Anyway, that inner voice, that thing that said yes, that I wasn't controlling, I've started helping thousands of clients find that too, and you have it too. And so when your inner wisdom, the personality of that, when I met thousands and thousands and thousands of them, when we unlock this, is secure. So that's the story, and that's the bottom line. That is secure. And Any insecurity that's in your world, in our energetic practice, in our clearing work, we ask, using our intuition, we ask, is this my insecurity or is this something or someone else's insecurity? And most likely than not, it is not your infinite being's insecurity. It's something that was installed in you at some point in your life, and you can take it off. No problem. Super simple, not easy. You need to know how to do it, yet simple. Awareness is one of the tools that you can use. So you can understand in your truth, is this security, insecurity yours? Is it not? And is this thought, if it is yours, then how can you heal this, right? How can you go back and heal it so that you can move on? There are a lot of different things that can create insecurity. Sometimes it's these memories from the past. And sometimes they're implanted memories that it's reinforced by media or convention or something you've heard. And the truth of the matter and the key here is to choose. Once you realize that it's not yours, then there comes a moment of enlightenment and choice and empowerment and freedom, and be like, do I actually want this? And you're like, no, but the person in me is saying no. And I would question that too. Is this me saying no, or is it the thing that wants to hold on to that thing saying no? And so play with yourself and recognize that the inner battle doesn't necessarily reflect your inner truth. And if you want to get taken over by that, then that's your choice too. You don't always have to empower yourself. You can take a rest, or you can choose to be like, you know what, let it go. It's not you. Third one is to observe its personality. Let's say it comes up quite often, right? Like sometimes I'm like doing something and a thought comes into my mind and I continue doing the thing, I kick it out. And I do something and the thought comes back and I kick it out and I continue. And the thought comes back in and comes back in and I kick it out and I kick it out. And I'm just like, you know what? It's coming back quite often. We have not really kicked out the source of it. It's just showing up. So observe its personality. Does it create constriction in your body? Does it create smallness? Does it create swirliness? How does it show up in your life? And what is it creating? And are there ways that you can seek support to get rid of the origin of that thought? Which is what we do. Like, we don't look at I don't like to look at thoughts as like individual things we need to decipher. I like to look at a group of them and seeing what are these indicating and where are these coming from? Not specifically where, but from a cognitive standpoint, but more from a physiological standpoint. And to make it really simple, just know that the origin and the root cause of all of those intercepting thoughts into your mind, are where when you take it out, then it actually quietens the mind. It's like unplugging the electricity from it. The pattern. Okay? So it is possible. You're not stuck in insecurity forever. The voice that goes, this is doom. You shall be stuck here forever. It will never go away. It happens. It will happen again. Is another voice. That is the personality of it. Anyway, collect all those personalities. Come talk to us. Come talk to someone who you want to discuss this with, and find a way to be able to take it out from its root. The fourth thing to unconventional way of dealing with insecurity is choice. Choosing not to listen to those voices. Choosing to stop in the mid sentence when that little interceptive thought comes up. Stop it and take care of it. We talked about, like, you can talk to a professional who's really good at this. You can do it from an energetic perspective. You can choose freedom, and you can basically choose how you would like to deal with this. And if it's a person that's making you feel insecure, a topic that's making you feel insecure, it's about finding out ways in which you choose, you know what, this thing is never going to overpower me again. And I will choose to feel differently. neutral, open. Choose a different emotion in the way that you choose to relate to that thing. Because you can. You have free will, don't you? And if you want to, you can choose it. Now, the fifth thing is, what do you want the other person to do? And you can request that without drama. So, in your choices, right? Previously, in your choices, when you have an insecurity in relationships specifically, it's about choosing to show up and communicate about that and choosing to do it. Right. And now we're talking about requesting without drama, choosing to express your insecurity without making the other person responsible for it, because you are responsible for your own feelings. We are responsible for our own feelings, and having the safe space and creating the safe space to express that. Maybe sometimes I request, I just want to express myself. You don't need to give me solutions. You don't need to feel panicked. You don't need to feel like there's anything wrong. I just want to share with you that when this and this and this happens, when you don't call or when you don't text back, or when it requires a long time for me to get a piece of information that I really need in order to make my next plan, it creates a lot of anxiety because I need to plan ahead, I need to buy tickets, and it requires time and the prices keep increasing, or just explain it in a way that it's not dramatic and just say it clearly, like, what is it that you need, and can that person can that person adjust their behavior so that it can work better together. And if that person says no, then it's no, but it doesn't really matter. It's more about you being able to express yourself and request something different. And you probably have already tried many, many times. If you haven't yet, go for it. And if you have tried it many different times, um, I wonder if there's a way to communicate that in a way that is even more clear and the request is even clearer. And if there are ways to have other solutions towards it. Um, yeah. So these are the five things. Unconventional ways, perhaps something you've already tried, but unconventional ways that I love to deal with insecurity in relationships. And I found that the more I do this and the more I empower myself, the more no drama there is when it comes to other people, when it comes to creating tighter knit bonds, more intimacy, more trust. And that's what I stand for. I really love relationships when they deepen in trust, when insecurities can be spoken about with so much safety and honor and respect and no shame or blame. And I feel that that's possible for you too, if you don't already have that. And if you want that, right? And it's what you create. So instead of insecurity, what do you feel like you want? What does a secure relationship look like? I actually did facilitated at a journey to secure retreat in San Diego where we talked about anxious, avoidant type attachment styles and also secure attachment styles. And it was such a beautiful way to look at, okay, how am I showing up in a relationship and helping and supporting people to find our secure ways of communication, secure ways of interacting, relating, and connecting. So I love talking about this topic. So reach out if this is something you'd love to transform. It's a journey, it's a transformational process. And I'd love to see that seed of insecurity in you blossom into a beautiful flower. Or other things, other topics too. I have a link below that you can access to ask yourself 4 different categories of questions to get closer to your security. So you just look at these questions or the entire, it's like 4 transformational transitions, and look at it from the lens of security or insecurity, and discover how can you transform each portion of that journey for yourself. Love you so much. So many cool things ahead of you, and it's a lifelong journey. We always find more insecurities as we grow and expand. So talk to you soon. This is Hani, and I love watching people grow. That turns me on. So I hope that you also love growing. Thank you for being here.